On this episode of Kemp Outside, we take a look at the different types of lanterns and when to use each kind. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at the different types of lanterns that are available for camping. We're going to take a look at gas-powered lanterns versus battery-powered lanterns so that you can make a decision for which one is right for you. And truth be told, I use both types, and I'm going to tell you why. So guys, the first thing I want to take a look at is battery-powered lanterns. Now, in terms of battery-powered lanterns, this one's a dinosaur. I have a number of battery-powered lanterns. Some were fluorescent bulb lanterns, and now the newer ones are LEDs. This one is relatively old. It's pretty bright, which is hard to tell in the daylight. And it's got a number of settings in terms of how you can dim it. But it's super heavy. It's powered by like 8D batteries. So it's very heavy, it's very bulky, it takes up a lot of space in my camping gear. And for the long time, if you wanted an LED or battery-powered lantern, you were going to have a heavy lantern that was powered by 8D cell batteries or C cell batteries, and they weren't all that bright. LED now has come a long way, and I just picked up this lantern. Actually, I picked up a 4-pack of these for really cheap on Amazon. They're powered by 3 AA batteries, and you just pull the handle and they glow. And these things are really bright. They provide a lot of light for not a lot of cost, and they're extremely light. I plan to use these inside my tents. So since they're so light, I can hang it inside my tent or inside my screen house, and I don't have to worry about it pulling too hard on the tent material. I can also use these, anywhere I'm at. So if I'm doing dishes after dinner in the dark, or I'm filleting fish, or whatever I'm doing, I can easily grab one of these and use it, anywhere I want. And I can somewhat control the brightness by how much you pull the lantern out. So all the LEDs are glowing, but if you push it in a little bit, it's a little bit less light. So these are really, really nice. I'll put a link down in the description below to these so you can figure out where to get them. But the other type of lantern that I use is propane powered lanterns. And I love propane powered lanterns for a number of reasons. The first reason is they're extremely bright. They cast a lot of light. So when I need to set up camp in the dark, or I'm filleting fish in the dark, or I am cooking dinner, or I'm washing dishes, a lot of times my lantern of choice is going to be one of my propane lanterns. I really, really like the propane lanterns, but there are definitely some downsides. Number one, they get super hot. So you don't want to touch the top of a propane lantern when it's burning, or you will burn yourself. Also, the heat that it puts off can melt a tent, so you don't want it too close to the side of a tent. And because it's burning fuel, it puts out carbon monoxide, and so you can't use those in enclosed spaces or anywhere where there's not enough ventilation. So you wouldn't want to use one in a tent anyway. You certainly don't want to use one in an enclosed camper, or if you're camping in the wintertime and so you've got windows closed and things like that, you definitely don't want to use one in that case. You're definitely going to want LED. So there are definitely a few times when I don't use my propane lanterns. The other thing about a propane lantern is that it's relatively fragile. It uses glass globes, and it has mantles that are very, very fragile. And so if they get jarred, you're going to have to replace the mantles. If you drop the lantern, it's absolutely going to break the globe and crack. And then you've got problems. You're going to have to do replacement globes. So I carry my lantern in one of these lantern cases from Coleman, and I really like them, but they are big and bulky, and so they take up a lot of space. I can take a whole lot of these for one of these, and so that's a trade-off that you're going to have to decide depending on the type of camping you do, whether it's worth it to take a propane lantern. There's another downside to propane lanterns, guys, and that is the waste that's produced by these 1-pound cylinders. And I hate these things, guys. I hate them because they're very hard to dispose of. Number one, you're not supposed to refill them. I know a lot of people do. There's videos all over YouTube on how to refill these things. Guys, it is dangerous to refill them. I know people do it all the time. It is dangerous to do it. And also, there are laws against transporting refilled cylinders. So I'm not going to get into the legal aspects. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to give you legal advice. You do you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm not your mama. But I will say, guys, that there are some inherent dangers in trying to refill those 1 pound cylinders. But the alternative is to throw them away after each use. And you're not supposed to just throw them in the trash. So you have to find a place that'll take the used cylinders, which can be a problem depending on where you live. And so that is not a good option either. So as a result of that, I do something totally different. I very rarely use 1 pound cylinders. I have them on hand if I need them, but instead, oftentimes I take a barbecue grill tank, a 20 pound tank, and what I do is I'll put a Y connector on it, and I'll get some of these hoses, and I will connect the hoses to my 20 pound cylinder, and I'll run one up to my lantern. Typically at a lot of campgrounds, there's going to be a hook to hang a lantern, and it'll be right next to the picnic table. And so if you've got a tabletop stove or something like that, you can run 2 hoses off your Y connector. You can run one to your propane stove and then one to the lantern, and you'll have plenty of gas for a week of camping, cooking, all the lights you would ever need, all of that stuff. And so instead of running those 1 pound tanks, I run a setup like this, and I'm going to show you how I set it up. So this is how I run my lantern. A lot of campgrounds will have a lantern stand, but if they don't, I use this collapsible one I got from Cabela's, and I have my Coleman lantern hung, and instead of a 1 pound tank connected to the lantern, I connect it to a hose that goes down to a 20 pound propane cylinder. That's a very easy way to have lighting for the entire trip without going through 1 pound cylinders. So guys, at the end of the day, I use both types of lanterns. If I have my choice, if space isn't an issue, and if heat isn't an issue, and if carbon monoxide isn't an issue, and if fragility isn't an issue, and I have the ability to take my propane lanterns and use my propane lanterns, I'm going to use them hands down every time. I hate the harshness of LED light, but guys, the compactness, the weight savings, the durability, you can, I could probably take this thing and chuck it across the yard and it would probably be fine. It might get us a little scratched up, but it'd probably be okay. And these things are dirt cheap. So depending on what you're doing, you might just decide, you know what, propane or white gas lanterns, they're not worth it to me. I'm just going to go LED. And guys, I can't fault you for that. But if you're like me and you like the nostalgia of a gas-powered lantern, or you like the light that's put off from a gas-powered lantern, you'll probably pick that every time. Guys, I'm going to put a link down in the description below for every one of these items. They are affiliate links, guys, so if you buy using our links, we get a little portion of the sale. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it is a great way for you to support Kemp Outside. If you like this video, guys, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos. So guys, Kemp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. If you're new to this whole outside thing and you're trying to decide what kind of camping gear you should get, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a comment below and tell us what your question is. And also, guys, you can hit me up on my other social media. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a line there. If you have any questions on how to get your kids outside, we'd love to help you. We put out new videos every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. Our Monday and Tuesday videos are focused on campground and campsite reviews, and our Thursday videos are on a whole wide range of topics, including camping, hiking, fishing, how-to videos, tips and tricks, gear reviews, gear suggestions, and a whole lot more. So again, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe. And guys, let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what type of lighting you use at the campsite. Are you all LED? Are you white gas lanterns? Are you propane lanterns? Or are you one of those really old school people who's using battery powered fluorescent bulbs still? Thanks for watching Kemp Outside. I will see you next time.